You're listening to That Digital Entrepreneur Podcast. And in today's episode, we sit down and have a chat with the amazing Angela Jackson, the powerhouse sales queen on Instagram. We dive deep into how Angela sells high-ticket coaching programs and how she's been generating over $30,000 in monthly revenues without hustle or using paid advertising. Now, if you're looking to sign more high-ticket clients via Instagram, or if you've been struggling with how to utilize Instagram to scale your business, then this is the episode for you. Stay tuned. Welcome to That Digital Entrepreneur Podcast, the show that takes you on an exhilarating journey into the world of digital entrepreneurship. I'm your host, Jack Long, a former corporate guy turned CEO of a multi-six-figure online business. And if you dream of creating a business that turns your passions into profits, changes other people's lives, and gives you more freedom than you ever thought possible, this podcast is for you. Each week, we dive into the minds of inspiring digital entrepreneurs, revealing the secrets, the strategies, and the pivotal moments that propelled them to greatness. This isn't just about the victories, it's about the challenges, the lessons learned, and the courage to take the leap. And if you're an ambitious entrepreneur or one in the making, and you're looking to create a business that makes an impact, then this podcast is your go-to resource for your inner entrepreneur. Join me on a transformative journey. Don't miss out on the inspiration, the motivation, and knowledge that you need to build and scale your own business. Get ready to conquer new heights and unlock the secrets of digital entrepreneurship. You're in the right place to turn your dreams into reality. Let's dive in. Okay, so welcome to another episode here inside That Digital Entrepreneur Podcast. I am super excited for today's chat. It's going to be absolutely on fire. I know that for a fact, because without further ado, I'm really excited to introduce you to the amazing and the lovely Angela Jackson. Hey, Angela, how you doing?
Hey, Jack, how are you?
I'm good. I'm
Happy to be here. Thank you.
Happy to have you here. You're looking fabulous, by the way. Thank you. For those of my listeners that can't see, but we will be sharing our recording and snippets for who've seen the video version of this. You're looking wonderful and colorful and amazing. What time is it where you are right now?
It is 7:03 a.m. I'm in Mexico, about 5 minutes around the corner from the Caribbean Sea. So it's a great morning over here.
Oh, wowza. A lovely, lovely setting. Beautiful way to start your day. Do you normally start the day at 7 in the morning, or have you kind of specially come on for us?
No, I do. I normally wake up at about 4:30 in the morning. That's my norm. Yeah, and I get the day started right away. When I wake up at 4:30, I have so much energy, and I literally could probably throw a party. I'm up, I wanna talk, I wanna laugh. So I am like the true definition of a early bird.
Love that. Do you go all the way through the day, or does your day stop at a certain time? Like 2 o'clock, that's it, we're done.
Well, what I do is it just depends on the day, and that's really like one of the perks of being a digital entrepreneur is being able to move our day around. So I usually do I have my schedule like according to days. So on Monday I do all business things, business related things. I work with my one-on-one clients. I do podcast interviews, emails, create videos, that sort of thing. So that's like my CEO day. Tuesdays and Thursdays, we do a volunteer work. And so those days are specifically for that. My husband and I. Wednesday is more of like a free day, running errands, taking care of business. And then on Friday, my husband and I, we had a date day. So we don't do a date night, we do a date day. So it's so many beautiful places that we can visit here. So we
Wow.
usually go to the beach, we go out to lunch, we hang out, just a day for us to just kind of reset and relax. And so that's kind of how my
Love
week's
it.
going. Saturday and Sunday, just depending on what's going on
More
with our
more
friends and family.
Saturday and Sunday is more date day, but more relaxed, right?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
just the easy weekend. So yeah, they
love it.
stay pretty easy here.
I love that. I love your whole structure. I love Monday CEO day, and then the rest of the time you fit around your lifestyle, community, and of course making sure you fit in time for yourself and your husband.
Yeah.
As you said, that's exactly what it's about, being a digital entrepreneur and running your business kind of your way, right? So
Your way.
so why don't we start by kind of you just telling us, what is your niche? What is your business? What do you do?
Yeah, I can't wait to get into it. So I am an Instagram sales strategist. And so I work with coaches and entrepreneurs on Instagram who are interested in monetizing their business. So I have different programs that cater to the needs of followers, clients, customers, those in a digital space, depending on where they are in their business. So, of course, we have a couple of programs that help beginners. Then we have programs to help intermediate. And then we could start to go into like the closer high proximity one-on-one coaching that really helps you to kind of clear up, clean up, and connect any gaps that you may have in your business. So a lot of the programs gear around helping to create content, write captions, get more visibility, extend your reach. Those are the things on Instagram. And of course, one, make sales.
Of
Because
course.
that's so important, right? That's the main reason why people have a business, right? So helping different CEOs in different ways on Instagram is what I do, and I absolutely just love it.
Wow. I love this. This is so good. This is brilliant for me because like I find Instagram not difficult, but I see so many people having such success when they focus on a specific strategy and they just give their time and dedication to it. And it
Yeah.
really reaps the rewards. I mean, I know you and I have known each other for a couple of years now, but I have seen the transformations and the results that you've got from not only your business, but also your clients and your students. And it
Mhm.
still is a remarkable thing. I think what you do is quite unique and really, really, really interesting for people because I think sometimes with social media, you probably agree, there's a bit of like a scattergun attack to it where people don't have a structure and a process. So therefore, I'm guessing what you're saying on your programs at each level, there's a certain structure and strategy, right, that they can go through. So with your programs, then, I know you mentioned one on one. Are the other programs like courses and kind of do it yourself type programs or courses?
Yeah, so right now I have a program for those who are interested in selling, and it's called Social Sales Queen. And so within that program, it kind of gives you the fundamentals of creating content that attract high ticket and premium buyers. One of the biggest things that I see when it comes to online marketing is prices are too low.
Yeah.
Right, and so a lot of people have issues with making livable income, and at the same time, they don't know how to increase their rates. They're not really sure how to attract premium, high ticket buyers who are right there in their audience. And so, first, we talk about the mindset, right? What is the mindset of a person when you come on Instagram and being ready to sell and having the mindset that people are ready to buy from you and that prices don't matter. What your brand voice is how you're showing up, it's the value that you're giving. And those are some of the things that we focus on, along with the type of content that needs to be created when you are speaking to a premium buyer. Okay.
Yeah.
And the last thing that we like to focus on, or that I like to focus on, are conversations. So once you have these premium buyers within your DMs or on sales calls, what does that conversation look like? What do they want to hear? And so each program, like I said, is very specific on helping a coach entrepreneur to come to a very specific result. And then we also have ads program for those
Right.
who are trying to get past social media and they like, you know what? I don't want the slow road. I don't want to do organic anymore. I'm kind of tired. Or they just want something in addition to. So that's kind of what I do. I do a little bit of organic, but I also like ads. I really, really enjoy running ads. And at times where I need to break away from social media, that's when I start my ad strategy. And so
Yeah.
just helping people to see, like you said, run the business your way. It doesn't have to be cookie cutter. It doesn't have to look like anyone else's. And you can really design a business that works for you and feels good because that's
Yeah.
so important. It's in
Love that.
alignment with who you are. Mhm.
Yeah, completely. I mean, you've touched upon a hell of a lot there in just that one kind of like 5 minutes. And a few things that I want to highlight again. Like, for example, you were saying it's an Instagram course, but actually it's like a business transformational course that allows
Absolutely.
you to utilize Instagram as just a platform to attract an audience and turn them into clients, really, right? Because you're teaching them mindset stuff, which is like really wow. And then you're also coaching them how to go from this, I have to give out low ticket product offers because I feel fearless of coaching or selling, should I say, high ticket. So you're training their mindset, giving them the confidence, no longer being fearful of saying, oh, my program is actually X as opposed to $97, right? And so
Right.
again, that's a really important aspect of any business, I feel. One of the things I always find with working with people like yourself, you probably realize is that it's harder to sell lower ticket, like 100, 200, $300 programs than, and then the effort is so much more as well, by the way, than when you're selling a $2,000, $5,000, $10,000 coaching program is, and this is going to sound crazy for anyone listening, but that is almost easier because
Yeah. Yeah, it's so right. It is easier. And the reason why is because one is an external problem and one is an internal problem. So when you talk about external things that we can't change or circumstances, we can't control necessarily how many people are interested in our offers, buy our offers. Of course, there are things we can improve, such as our messaging and our positioning, that sort of thing. But overall, that is the buyer's choice to buy from us. And so we can't decide for them. They have to make this decision on own that they want to be involved in our programs, our groups, our memberships, etc. That's external. However, raising your rate is internal because raising your rate all come from the inside. It's the confidence that you feel about yourself, about what you sell. It's the courage that you have to go out there and be bold and say, hey, this is what it is. This is the value I bring. This is experience I have. And this is the price that's going to be invested to get the knowledge that I have that's going to change your life. That starts on the inside, right?
love
And
that. I mean,
so
I love that. The way you just described the internal there. I mean, that one
yeah.
line you just said there is like a perfect little sales pitch you could have, right? It's just such a perfect way of describing the reasons why the program or what it is the person does and specializes in is at that price point. And you're already down the line though with that person. They've seen posts, they've seen your content, they've been following you on social media. I guess within your programs, as you've already
Mhm.
explained it, and I picked up on it, that you teach your clients and your students certain kind of touch points, if you like, that their users will be going through by the time you get to that final stage, which is probably direct messaging and emailing back and forth before they decide to maybe jump on a Zoom call and and then obviously then work with that person at a higher ticket. But there are certain, probably I'm guessing there are certain touch points, right, that you've got to go through in order to get that person from seeing a social media post on Instagram to actually having a conversation about your program,
Yeah.
right?
Absolutely. What we talk about with the buyer's journey, right? So when it comes to the buyer's journey, that's moving a person from the point that they've learned about you to actually clicking the website or booking a call or joining whatever it is that you're offering. And so I do have a strategy that I love to teach that helps to take a person through that buyer's journey. However, what I love is being able to collapse the time because sometimes in marketing, we hear that it takes 21, up to 21 times for a person to see your information before they make a buying decision. However, when the content is spot on, it does not take that long. A person could come on your page, see what you have, binge your information, and then decide to make a buying decision right then. I've had a woman within 6 minutes of even knowing me come in and purchase a product or one-on-one coaching for $6,000 at the
Wow.
time.
Right. I mean, that's
$6,000. She paid it in
wow.
full right away.
Is it like $6,000 in 6 minutes?
Yes, oh, I like that.
Right.
No, that's really good. $6,000 in 6 minutes. Yeah.
There you go. It's a cracking
I have to
testimonial.
use that, Jack.
Well, that's why we get guests like you on, because it sparked my creativity as well.
So good. So good.
I love it though. And then I just think this is so inspiring for anybody listening, because I think we tend to find that by posting free content all the time on Instagram, you have to offer your services at such a low price point, and you're proving that that does not need to be the
No.
case. I love
No,
it.
And Jack, I suggest that you don't. And the reason is because when you're first starting off, a lot of times our audiences are smaller, right? So with the small audience, there just is not, if you're not running ads, there just isn't the of people that you'll need to make it hit the revenue goals that you have as a coach or entrepreneur, right? And so
Agree.
and so my whole mission for people is to make livable income. This is not just about selling a $97 product. This is, like you said, it's about creating a business that you love, running it on your terms, and at the same time being able to make a livable income so that you can spend more time doing the things you love, being with your family, hanging out with friends, there and that starts with pricing.
Yeah, I agree completely. And then I also think, you're right in that. And I think people get into there are different ways in which our business is run. So a successful business is always a business that has things like outgoings, you know, team expenses. That's a healthy business. A lot of people kind of go like, oh, if I'm going to run an online digital business and I'm going to make some sales from my online digital courses, and I sell a course at say $1,000 at a time, I'm going to make $1,000 at a time, thinking that every time they make the $1,000, they don't want to spend any more money. They don't want to put
Right.
any more investment in it. They just want to earn that $1,000 right out. But actually, that's in some ways not a healthy business because there are so many other things going on that you're
Yes.
having to probably put 60 an hour times of effort, energy into probably creating organic content. I actually quite like the balance myself of what you've just said: organic content, creating content and posts on social media. And in my case, obviously podcasting as well here, but also running ads that then retarget people. So spending, some money on ads, but
Yeah.
I always advise you don't need to spend that much. Like,
No.
an asset for us would be email, our email lists and building a community is a huge asset. And I always find, well, if you spend, I don't know, $10 a day, $300 a month, you could really have a 24/7 automation system that's growing a community in your email list. And then at the same time, you can retarget those people and retarget anyone else that is, your social media content. And so the whole thing becomes a really nice ecosystem of mixed
Absolutely.
organic
That's it.
and paid ads, right? So,
Yeah.
and as you're already teaching that with ads, I guess once your students and your clients understand that ecosystem, it becomes easier for them to run their business successfully.
It becomes a walk on the beach. That's what
Right.
it
Yeah, that's right. It becomes a walk on the
walk
beach
on the
on a
beach.
Friday.
It should, yeah, it should feel good. And it should be easy. Of course, there is work, and
Yeah.
we're going to have days that are better than others. We're going to have emotional highs and lows. We're going to hit goals and not hit goals. So, those are things that just are a part of the journey, that are a part of being a digital CEO. But
Right.
the bigger impact are the lives that you get to touch, and being able to be there for, your family. And it's just an amazing thing.
Yeah, 100%. I think you knocked the nail on the head right there, really. And as you said there before, there is work to be put in. I think people have this perception of this overnight success of if I put content out there and start putting a digital offer out there and start driving people to a webinar, and I've been doing this for a month, I'm going to be, I have 100 grand sitting in the bank the next week. And it doesn't work like that. There's a lot of work you got to put in, but that work and consistency that you do on a consistent level will really pay off to the point where, as you said, you can start structuring your weekly by week, your week work as a CEO more better because more predictability with your revenues, you've got predictability of your income, you've got predictability of maybe one-on-one coaching, group coaching, or whatever you might have, membership sites, whatever. But I think, it does take a bit of time to grow your business to that level, but it's not impossible. I think a lot of people just think we live in a world of we want things now, we need things now, we can have this, we can have that in a world where we live in. However, when it comes to growing and scaling a business, it will take a bit of time, but it's really
Mhm.
rewarding to get there. It's a wonderful journey to get there. And when you get to the journey of the level where you're at, it's even more rewarding because, as you said,
Yeah.
you're impacting more people and it's having an impact on your life as well in a positive way. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I love that. Take us back. I want to go back to like the beginning. Has this always been your online business teaching on Instagram, or were you offering or doing something else beforehand? Were you like in a completely different niche market when you started an online business of some kind?
Yeah, I was actually a makeup artist on Instagram.
Amazing.
Yeah, I was a makeup artist on Instagram, and then we had to pivot, because of 2020, we needed to pivot, and so I took my makeup business online and started to offer master classes, events, all types of things, ebooks, as I was trying to find my way and figure out things on Instagram. So I was doing that. And in the meantime, I ended up getting into a car accident where a car ran the red light, T-boned me, and my rotator cuff of the arm that I use for makeup
Yeah.
got torn. So I ended up having to have a rotator cuff surgery and was not able to use my arm for makeup for several weeks. So I was thinking, okay, well, I love the digital space. What can I do? What can I do while I'm healing? And so that was when the idea of creating a program for business owners came up. And it was such a wonderful pivot and change. I loved it so much that I said, this is what I'm gonna do. The
Right.
impact that I saw on a person's business improving just within a couple of weeks, their mindset being shifted, them building this type of confidence and courage within themselves and trusting their own decisions, it really hit me deeply. And I said,
Right.
whoa, this
Yeah.
is what I want to do. This is what is going to change people's lives. And so it kind of just took off from then. And so
Wow.
I would say that I went from selling, $25 master classes to $8,300 coaching. And it's just been an amazing ride. And it's been a quick journey. It
Mm.
hadn't taken that long, and the reason is because I made a quick decision, and so if there are anyone listening who is kinda in the middle of, like, a pivot or just not sure if they should change, but it's in their heart to do it, they feel it in their soul, then do it.
Yeah,
Do
100%. I
it.
mean, like, you're so right. If you're sitting there and you're currently serving or running a niche market and you've got this audience, we sometimes feel attached and guilty that we can't then just leave this audience and then move on to something completely different because we now feel as if it's our duty. However, it's your duty to make sure that you are happy
That's
and
right.
you love what you do, right?
Yeah.
And, your car crash, I mean, I'm first of all sorry to hear that. I mean, that is awful. However, there's a silver lining in it. And the
Mhm.
messaging there for me, when you were saying, just the moment when you were saying this, you were saying, I was then started teaching others how to come online and alter their mindset. It then made me think, well, hang on, your mindset must be like really, really super powerfully strong because you had to go from I can't use my arm. This is my skill set. This is what I do as a living. And now I am no longer able to actually do the thing I need to do. And so, how do I now start earning money for myself? And you took yourself out of that position, not being afraid to change, and ultimately recognize you had another skill that you could teach others and have a bigger impact in some ways, right? So, I
Yeah.
mean, that is kudos to you, really, to be fair, to be able to do that. Because a lot of people would
Yeah.
have given up at that stage and maybe would
And
have gone,
especially at my age, like, we're grown now. We're
"Nah,
adults, So sometimes as an adult, if you're kind of given this idea that, oh, you can't change, you
mm,
shouldn't do something different. It's too what are you gonna do? It's too late, look at and none of that matters. All of that is irrelevant. You
yeah,
can always change. You can always pivot. And one thing I'll add to that is, Jack, is that I had the surgery.
mhm,
And then I also at the same time got a 2 sentence email that told me I lost my job, my full-time
oh,
job. So I was kind of just on an online space, I guess you call it like a side hustle or just something to make a little extra money.
yeah."
I lost my job.
You had
So I was like, oh, this
people
has
throwing
we're gonna make
throwing
this
mud
work.
pies at you all the time, coming at every angle, right?
Yes, every angle, and that's exactly why I said, "You know what? I'm going to make a livable income out of this business. I'm
What
going
was
to
it?
learn how to make a livable income. And that has continued to be my mission because that's where it
Yeah.
started for me.
Uh,
I just can't be a side hustle
no.
anymore.
What was it that got you that spark though to want to say the drive of I've just, my job, I've had this terrible car accident, things aren't going my way, I'm down in the dip. What was the spark or what was the inspiration that got you to the point where you just went, right, I need this to work. I need to do something for myself. I need to have an online business or a business of some kind that is going to bring me a better success. So these things don't happen in the future, or I don't lose my job again, or whatever. What
And
was it, do you think, was the driving factor of that?
that was it. The thought that I'll never put it in anyone else's power or hand to decide one, how much I get paid, and two, when I'm going to stop being paid.
Right.
Because as long as I know how to make money myself, I'll always be paid and I won't be broke because
Right.
I know how to create the money.
Yeah.
And it's no longer thinking, oh, she's going to pay me money. No, not anymore. And it was also the driving force of my husband. He had been working in the plant for over 17 years
Wow.
during that time. And we had bigger dreams. We wanted to move to Mexico. We wanted to have more freedom to do what we love to do. We wanted to come down here and help the community. And so when I lost that job, it wasn't a thought of going back to a 9 to 5. The thought was, oh, let's move to Mexico and let's make this business work.
Love it. Love it. And again,
Hmm.
new life sparks that, right? The new dream, the ability to be able to be nearer to the coast and you and your husband spend more time together allows you to then mentally in your own mind and kind of ultimately, yeah, go for it. I just finished off. Mentally in your own mind allows you to make that happen, right? By your own mental self-esteem. Yeah. Yeah. Go and get your charger. No
Exactly.
worries. Yeah.
Okay. I didn't realize we wasn't connected, but I figured out it.
No, you're okay.
Let me get that. Okay, we're off.
You're good.
I
That's
don't want that to go on.
no,
Oh,
yeah.
okay, we're good. We're good.
Cool. So yeah, I want to I love the fact that yeah, you've talked about your situation and the spark of inspiration that got you where you are now. Thinking back to your first, and this is like a really strange question I like to ask people, can you think back your first ever entrepreneurial spirit, kind of that spark? And I always think about, kids running the lemonade stand or washing someone's car or knocking at the
Mhm.
door and see if they can,
Mhm.
rake their leaves or whatever. And I always think, well, kids don't realize
Yeah.
that's quite an entrepreneurial thing to do, want to earn some pocket money for themselves. Can you think of your kind of first, even if you intentionally didn't know it at the time, what you were doing or when you first started to make money or wanted to do entrepreneurial things?
Yeah. I was 12 years old, and during this, I would ask my mom's friends, "Do you need a babysitter for the while your children are out of school?" It
Yeah.
was all about filling a need. So 12 years old, I had my first business job. I watched children during this, and I was able to actually find a client who hired me for the whole to watch her 3 children. So I didn't have to go and get any other clients because this one person was able to give me the amount of money that I needed through the so that was my
Brilliant.
very first job. I also did I had a paper route.
Right.
So my mom got us a paper route. I really enjoyed my paper route. I was up early, wrapped the
Freedom
papers. Yeah,
out the house.
we went and collected the money. We could do it at a time that was good for us. So those were like my first examples, like kind of as a child stepping into entrepreneurial. But then as I think back, my parents actually have always kind of been entrepreneurs too, but that's not what we called it back
Yeah,
then.
exactly. It wasn't,
So
was it? Yeah, I know you mean.
no, my
Yeah.
dad, he had rental home and he would flip them. That's what it's called now. That's not what it was called back then. It was like he was a landlord, that's what they
Right.
called it.
Yeah.
He had rental properties, but it was not really looked at as a business and a business that could make livable income. So he did that. And then my mom also had caregiving jobs on the side. She cleaned banks on the side. And all of these things are jobs that she went and asked
Right.
companies and then started to work for these companies. And
By
so
her individually kind of thing,
her
independently. Yeah.
individually, no
Yeah.
middleman,
Yeah. Yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
and
No
she was
working for someone else, just her
no
with that direct communication with the company, right?
had
Yeah.
direct communication. She set her own schedule. She made her own money. So I had actually, now that we look at it differently, we look at those things differently. I'm like, well, our whole lives we've been surrounded by, I'm surrounded by business owners, and of course, my dad he worked full time, and my mom didn't have to work while we were growing up. So, but on the side, it's like he made extra money and she made this extra money, and they were really business owners. They were entrepreneurs. They were CEOs. We just didn't call it that.
Yeah, you're right, and it's so true. I guess so many people will be able to relate to that. Myself as well, similar trades as to what your parents have done. My dad had his own mechanic workshop, but of
Mhm,
course that wasn't necessarily looked upon as his business or looked upon as him being entrepreneurial. The fact that he was earning his own money by having his own clients, by
right.
mending people's cars, and they broke down. It was just known as your dad's a mechanic or your dad's a
Yeah,
window cleaner or your
right.
dad's a whatever, right? Your dad's a gardener, but it wasn't really, as you said, looked upon as a business owners in them days.
Mm,
And similar to me, my dad was working so long and full time. Mine was in doing odd jobs here and there. Like I remember when I was young, I'd be taking along to like a house that she may be cleaning, or she might be looking after another kid or whatever. And again, earning bits of money here and there, like cash in hand type thing. But again, that's quite entrepreneurial spirited, because instead of having to kind of get a job where you're told you have to work between this time and this time, and you have to turn up or do a shift or whatever it might be, a specific time slot in order to earn that agreement at the end of each week or the agreement at the end of each month, your parents, similar to mine, were kind of earning money ad hoc in a way by having agreements with other individual companies or people in order to bring in extra cash. And that's, you
mm,
said it's not really known back then as entrepreneurial, but it is an entrepreneurial thing. So being surrounded by people like that sparks our own kind of entrepreneurial spirit as children, right? Did you have like a specific reason as to why you wanted to earn the money over this? Like obviously being 12, I guess they were probably like, you wanted to buy or makeup you wanted to buy, things like that, right? As a kid.
You know, it has just always been in me not to be rude.
I like that.
And meaning that I have my own money to do like you said, whether it's buy makeup. And at that time, I did a lot of traveling. I did have a car, probably at about 15. So I love to travel on the highway, and I love to go to movies and hang out with friends. And so that that was my money. And I remember, my friends will always say, "And you always got money." Like, and of course, in the bigger picture, it wasn't that much money.
No,
But
right.
at the time of being 12 and 13, 14, 15, that was like, man, what's she doing pulling out a $20 bill? That was big money back then. So I remember my friends would always say that, "Angie,
Yeah.
you always making money, like, you know how to make some money." And so it's just always been in my spirit that making my own money feels better to
Mm,
me and feels more in alignment to me than working for someone else, because one of my core values is freedom.
mhm,
So freedom of time, and you think at, 15, where are you going? What are you doing? That you need so much freedom.
right.
But it was like on a Friday night, if my friends wanted to go to the movie, I don't want to have to ask the boss, can I go to the movies? Even at 15, I didn't want to do that. And so it ended up being even just a stronger sensation as I got older, and as I got into, an adult workspace. It was just like,
Mhm.
"No, this
Didn't feel
doesn't
right.
work for me. Working for
Mm,
someone else just doesn't work for me." And so no matter if I had a full-time job on the side, I always kept some type of business that I started.
Right.
on the side. And it wasn't until I was probably about 25 that I started creating businesses where I could live off of the money. And it
Right.
was no longer like a side hustle.
Got
And
it.
then, yeah, I created, it was called Carousel, and it was an activity program for older people
Okay.
because where I lived at the time in New Mexico, there were a lot of scientists and archaeologists and
Okay.
people of that nature out in New Mexico in the rock,
Right.
studying the sun and that sort of thing. And they would have family members in nursing homes that they couldn't spend time with. And so I
Right.
actually started working with several affluent families in that area, caring for their elderly parents. And it was such a wonderful work. The families were great. And I ended up working with their family members until the point that they passed away. So these were monarchs of the family that I got a chance to spend time with, do activities with, and get to know. And so that was my first taste of creating a business
Wow.
where, I'm making livable income. I don't need to work anywhere else. I'm working for myself 100%. And that just allowed me to travel and do all types of fun things, in my 20s. And then
Yeah.
it went until now in
Amazing.
that I won in the digital world.
Right. I think the word there, I was going to say this word and I held back because I didn't want to interrupt you. But at the same time, you said it literally as I was thinking it. And the word is freedom. I think everything
Mhm.
you do and everything that you have tried to achieve and wanting to work towards is always to basically allow you to have more freedom to be able
That's
to,
it.
whether it's, getting the highway on your car or that freedom of an hour on your bike doing your paper round or earning that money to have the freedom to go out with your friends. But also, as you said, fulfilling. It seems like you're a very caring person, a very fulfilling person. You like being around others. You like to make other people feel comfortable and enjoying their company, whether it's looking after
Mhm.
children or looking after elderly, right? It's a very similar picture here that you've done throughout the whole of your career, if you like, as an entrepreneur. And now into the digital space, there's not much change there. You're still serving people, you're still
Mhm.
getting into their businesses and lifting the hood and understanding who they are and probably understanding their lifestyle, whether they've got children or not, whether they're in a relationship or not, or what is their lifestyle like, and being able to help them carve out a success for their business. And I think it's really, really exciting. It clearly shows that you love just working with people, right? And it really just shows what you just told us there of your story. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah. I love it.
So when you, what was I going to say? You're selling digital courses, gone through that one. So thinking about, we've done timeline, we've done a hell of a lot, right? We've covered tons of amazing stuff. Okay, so you've done
Yeah.
your lifestyle, your business, your lifestyle. Yeah, we've done that. Clients. Yeah, okay. There's a good question. So talking of niche markets, you said you first started out doing makeup and then you ultimately went into online digital with that niche market. Are your clients in that realm now? Do you predominantly get a lot of the people who are in the makeup space that want to become online, or do you just coach anyone in all different niches?
Most of them are coaches and entrepreneurs. There are some who come to me who are in the makeup industry. Now it's more niche down to coaches or mid-level entrepreneurs. So
What are
when
they
we're thinking
coaching? Are
about,
they coaching others to run a business, or are they coaching others like, is it more specific
yeah,
business type thing, like someone like yourself, but different angle?
yeah. So the coaches are not necessarily working with other businesses, but they have a clientele that they're marketing to. And so just showing them how to market their business better on Instagram. So, for example, I had a client who came to me and she was in a dry spell. Like she had been getting clients, but over the last couple of months, she just wasn't able to get clients. Her price rating, she wanted to increase her prices, but when she tried to increase them, people weren't signing up, they weren't working with her. And so she just wasn't sure what to do. So, and she also had the goal, she wanted to hit $100,000 in her business. So we broke her business apart. And there are four main things that I like to look in on when I am working with a one-on-one client. So we start with the mindset, of course. And then we talk about strategy, which, so let's go back. Mindset is talking about like what beliefs do you have about yourself and about your business that are holding you back or keeping you from trusting yourself, keeping you from making risks, building confidence, and even sometimes, a lot of times, I should say, money comes into play there too. So with this particular client, there was quite a bit of money from childhood, from parents that was causing a barrier between her and increasing her prices. It was causing a barrier between her and her saying her prices. And all of these things ultimately affect a person's decision to work with you or not subconsciously. So we went into that. And then the strategy part, like I said, is talking about, okay, what does your messaging look like? What type of content are you putting out there? What type of captions are you writing, right? How are you showing up? What is your brand voice? Those are some of the things that we got into when we talked about strategy. And then we talk about alignment. So, is your business model in alignment with what you want? And she was overwhelmed. She was frustrated. She was tired. She felt like she was spinning her wheels. She was constantly showing up and not getting the results that she wanted. And so, what we did is we created a business model that made her feel good, made her feel at ease, made her feel comfortable, and that she actually wants to show up to every day, right? And then, of course, we talk about the money goals. So, how do you create this $100,000 income, right? What do you need to do that? And so we go into those four aspects of the business. And then just within a few weeks of us working together, she was starting to close clients at her higher price rate, and she hit $100,000. So she ended up making about $46,000 just within a few months of us working together. And she ultimately hit her $100,000 income goal. Right.
Amazing. Wow. I mean, that's an
Yeah. So
incredible
this is
story.
high. This is high touch.
Yeah, this is amazing. And like, it just goes to show the mindset, pillar one in your kind of formula and your method. The mindset is such an integral part to the success that you want and that you desire. And if you're
Yeah.
not there in the beginning stages, you're never going to be able to get there, to where it is that you want to get, right? I
Wow.
love it. I love your I just love your formula and your structure of what you teach. I think it's so important because so many people just teach an Instagram course on how to just,
Yeah.
create this and put out posts and
Mhm.
and follow
Mhm.
follow my formula. Just do this post on this week and do those posts on this week and do this reels on that week. And that's great. That's amazing. That sounds wonderful and it's exciting and it keeps you busy in your business, but you're not actually working on yourself, which ultimately is also
That's
an
it.
integral part of your business, right?
Mhm.
I
Yes,
love it.
so it's really about more than just vanity, right? So there are a lot of shiny objects on Instagram, a lot of vanity metrics that people pay attention to, but none of those things have to do with the bottom line and you making sales. And what you want is to create a business that makes livable income that is sustainable and gives you freedom and
Right.
impacts other people's lives. And so that's not what we're doing every day as far as when we go into our business, if we're not taking action to make sure that we're headed down that road, then we're going to end up spinning our wheels, and we don't have time for
No, exactly.
that.
Your clients' lifestyles now, after working with you, someone can achieve. Ultimately, the goal is similar to what you've achieved for yourself, right? More freedom, more of a structure
Yeah,
as a CEO, but also more freedom to spend more time with their families.
yeah. There was a girl that I just worked with. This was actually just on Monday. We were talking, and she was like, she had made, I think, like $4,600 or something in a week, which was really good because this is the first time she had hit that goal.
Wow.
And she said, Angie, my husband just told me that he's going to get laid off. And,
Awesome.
some other family members are losing their jobs. So it was like sh- the freedom that she had because she knew she could make the money. And even when her husband loses the job, until he gets another one, she has it. She can hold it down. She has her family back.
Right.
And that's freedom that she didn't have prior to us working together, before she
Right.
started creating a business that makes livable income, before she created a model that's sustainable for her.
Amazing. And it's so true. And even if like, let's say the business takes off even more and she gets
Right.
more than 4,500, 5,000 a month or a week or whatever.
Yeah, she can do even more.
Yeah.
Start.
Right. That's just the one. This is the other thing as well that a lot of people kind of go into, they get confused about, is that this is a repeatable system that can benefit you for such a long period of time in your business growth and stability. Maybe husband wants to join and do the administration stuff in the background, right? Without having to hire an
Yeah.
assistant and work as a team and things. So possibilities are endless. And also there's always silver linings. That I always believe things happen for reasons. Things happen for a reason. Maybe him being laid off is a sign that he could potentially help your client there with more of her business and help it grow even double the amount, you know. So yeah, I love that. So kind of like, where what is your actually what I was going to say is, what I want to say is what you know today, right? Everything that you teach right now and the success that we're just hearing from, the transformations that you're getting, the results that your clients and yourself are getting from, what you do and you specialize in. If you are starting fresh right now with everything that you know, what would you focus on today? What would you first do? What's the first thing you do to kickstart your business? And any tips you can give to any listeners that might be
Yeah.
starting off today?
Yeah, so when you're starting, and this concept that I created actually will follow you no matter how much money you're making. But when you start in the beginning, you really want to share your journey. You want to share just how things are going. So there are three stories that I encourage you to share. So you
Yeah.
want to share your story. So, like I said, come up with 3 to 5 different stories that really hone in on who you are,
Hmm.
okay? What your business journey looked like, why you're doing what you do, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
What were some obstacles that you had to overcome? Everybody has a story, and
Yeah.
everyone's story is unique, powerful, and impactful. The second thing you want to share is your unique mission. So everybody wants to be a part of something. They want to be a part of a movement, a community, a mission, right? A greater purpose. And so when you're able to talk about what your mission is, then you start to speak to other people who feel the same way. For example, you heard my story of wanting to make a livable income. And now that's my mission, to help
Right.
other business owners, coaches, entrepreneurs create a livable income within their own business,
Love it.
right? Not just making a little money here or there, not a side hustle, like a real job that makes livable income. And so I talk about that mission. So whatever your mission is, you who are listening, find that out, figure it out, and then talk about it. You're here to create a community,
Hmm.
right? And then the next thing I suggest is you talking about your unique solution. So, of course, we'll say the industries are oversaturated. They are.
Yeah.
But but that has nothing to do with the amount of people who need help. There are still less people working or less coaches in the industry than people who need help,
Yeah.
right?
So
So
true.
you talking about your unique solution is going to appeal to someone.
Hmm.
And so it doesn't matter if it's a million coaches that do what you do. They don't do it how you do it. And that's why speaking about your solution and how you give people, get people results is so important to do, and not being overcome with the thought that, oh, there's so many people who do what I do. Nobody's not going to want to listen to me. Why am I? No, 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 no. Tell your story, talk about your unique mission, and share your unique solution. And that is the place to start. So even with that, if you do 3 to 5 stories, let's say you do 5 stories on each, that's 15 pieces of content that
Right.
you can put on Instagram right now.
Right. It's
And
just, and also reels, stories, reels, and a post. So
story,
right.
you can, Jack, you said it. You can take those things and then you could change the story into a reel, right?
Yep.
Then you could go live talking about it,
Right.
right? So you can use that's 15 pieces of content and really change it into 30 or 60 pieces of content with
Carousels
one.
work really well for storytelling, don't they?
Right. And this is the thing, because social media is a social platform,
Yeah.
people fall in love with other people. We
Correct.
fall in love with people's personalities, their stories, their visions, thoughts, their philosophies, their methods.
Yeah.
And so the more you speak to people about those things, the more people will fall in love with you. They will learn to trust you. They will like you, and they know that you are a source
Mm.
or a resource for information and implementation and result.
Yeah, 100%. It builds your authority by being
Mhm.
more open, being more raw, being
Yeah.
honest, being transparent, builds authority. I also think people like to different, some might prefer stories, some might like
Yeah.
reels, some might like posts. You can also adapt those stories and those your framework there into emails if you're starting to grow an email list.
Sky's the
Storytelling is
limit.
incredibly powerful. You're right, and people actually remember stories more than say information or factuals. So
Yeah.
I love that. And again, you said it right there where to go back a couple of steps where you said there could be a million people in your niche market right now teaching what you do, but nobody has your story. Nobody has got to where you are on your journey. No one's been in your
Mhm.
situation, and nobody is you and your
No,
voice. You see,
that's right.
I'm I'm a man and I'm 42 of three kids. There will be somebody out there that doesn't want to listen to a man who's 42 and has three kids. That person might want to listen to a woman who is single and has never had children, right? So we've got
Right.
to be mindful that like you said, just be true to yourself, share your story, your situation, your journey, what you believe in your mission statements, and you'll start attracting the right people who want to listen to you. And even if
That's
that
right.
first handful is just 10 people, that's 10 people that are genuinely you didn't have yesterday, you got 10 people today,
That's
right?
right.
And that's
Yeah.
the key thing, isn't it? I love your message there. Thanks for sharing your framework. I loved it, by the way. Couldn't agree
Yeah.
more. Love that. Storytelling being powerful. Yeah, it was spot on. It's brilliant. I love that.
Yeah. And the great thing about all of our stories is that they they change throughout time. So your story, like my story that I was telling on Instagram to my followers and when I was a makeup artist is not the story that I tell now, being a coach. And it will
Right.
continue. And so it doesn't matter how much you grow, how much things change, always tell that story. And
100%.
people are following that story and they love to see your journey and how you're discovering new things and growing and impacting people's lives. I mean, it's because when I changed from a makeup artist to a coach, I didn't change my audience. I
Right.
didn't start a page. And that's the power of messaging.
Mhm.
I just changed my message. And in changing my message, I changed those who resonated with the new message. And so
Yes.
I still continue to tell my story. And so any story, like you said, is impactful and no one can do it like and people resonate with different people and different stories. So being
Yeah,
able to tell
definitely.
yours often is super important as a social media strategy.
Yeah, 100%. I love that. I mean, my story, I started out as an online guitar teacher. That's where I
Yeah.
was. I started teaching guitar and then my journey. But as you said, people will start following you in the beginning stages, like you as the makeup artist. And over the course of time, they've seen you evolve and adapt and grow into where
That's
you are
right.
today. And they've been on that journey. And that's more powerful than discovering you now and hearing about your story. Of course, that's still powerful for that person who discovers you today. But those that follow you from the very beginning stages, we'll always remember you from there. And it's really important that we always tell where we came from to where we are today. Sometimes I think people can feel a bit embarrassed, like, oh, I don't want to say I started, as a makeup artist or I started out as a guitar player because no
Yeah.
one will take me seriously. I'm the coach now, I'm this professional coach. But that again all comes down to mindset and having the confidence
Mhm.
that people want to learn where you came from. They want to know that if the makeup artist can do it and she's now this incredible coach, I can work with her because
Yeah.
I'm in an industry maybe that's similar to the makeup artist, or I'm in an industry similar to the guitar teacher, a creative industry. And therefore, if they can do it themselves, I want to learn from them because they've taken their makeup industry niche market business to where they are today. And so
Mhm.
it's so important to being true to you. I love that. So do you have
Okay.
any exciting new products or courses or anything else in the pipeline that you've got coming up that you want to share here?
I have a free training coming up entitled Make Livable Income,
Okay,
how
cool.
to
We'll,
book
we'll
and
plug that.
attract high ticket clients with ease and confidence in the DM and on
Cool.
sales calls. So
I
that's
love
going to
that.
be coming up really soon. And I'm excited about that. The Facebook group is going to be opening and there's a lot of excitement about it. So that's
All
really
right.
fun.
Okay, cool. That sounds so good fun. So what we'll do is with everybody on the description here and on our podcast page, we're going to have all of your links so people can connect with you and hook up with you on Instagram. Reach out to Angela if you've got any questions about Instagram. Check out all of her free stuff. Check out her products, her free trainings that are coming out. Just go and all of Angela's content. She's a superstar, as you all know from listening to today, which is amazing. Any other quick secrets or topics you want to share, or any advice for our listeners before we kind of let you get on with work walking down the beach in Mexico? Any advice on like, for example, how to, I don't know, generate free leads, or how to start getting revenue on repeat with free leads, or not relying on ads, or anything like that you may have for anybody that might be feeling a bit nervous about ads and starting an Instagram? Any tips?
Yeah. So when it comes to Instagram, other than sharing your story, I do suggest that you create a going live strategy. And I do suggest creating like a series where you're going live quite often, especially if you're in the beginning, because people need to know, like, and trust you. And in order to do that, or to compress the time that it takes for people to come into your world and then purchase from you, going live, hearing your voice, seeing your personality is one of the quickest ways to do that. So, and when it comes to social media, you can choose two routes. One is fast, one is slow. So do know that if you're in the on a platform on social media and you want to stick to organic type of marketing, then it's going to be a little bit slower and it's going to take a little bit more time. Whereas if a person starts to run ads, that kind of expedites your growth. And I say that, and you're paying to expedite it, right? So it's either you're paying in time or you're paying in money. However, at the end of the day, we need data. And so when you run ads, right away you get the data. Does this resonate with people? Are they connecting with this message? Are they signing up? Am I being able to sell, during my live events? And so ads gives you a way to get fast data about your messaging and about your product offers and how you're showing up. And so, like I said, if you're a person who you don't want to spend a whole lot of time trying to figure it out on Instagram, or you have other things that are pressing and you're not able to show up on social media as often as you should for organic content, then ads is really the way to go. And really just getting in some type of beginner ads course just to get the ball rolling,
Right.
so helpful.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, yeah, the two things you touched on there, the live, would you say, is there a specific way to go live? Is that stories? Is that live in reels? What's the best platform on Instagram, or feature, should I say, to go live on?
So I just suggest just hitting the live button.
Oh, there's an
So
actual live
uh,
button, is there?
yeah, there's an actual
Cool.
live button that you can hit. So, and when you hit the live button, what happens is that everyone who follows you, they're able to see your live at the top of their screen. So that actually helps you to increase in visibility. It helps more people to see you more often, which is what's really needed when we're talking about growing in our organic content and in marketing. So yeah, so there's an actual live button. You can make it fun. You can, if you're nervous about starting off going live, because I know that that kind of makes people feel a little uneasy, uncomfortable, especially at first, is a practice live that you can do. So
Oh,
you can
right. Cool.
go on live just with you or who you choose to go live with. And
Okay.
as you're
Got it.
comfortable with that, then you can start actually going live to, your followers. But I always say that it is easier to practice something and get better at it when you have a smaller audience as opposed to when you start to get a larger audience. So start practicing now, make the mistakes now, make the improvements now so that as your audience starts to build, grow, and expand, then you're actually you become better. And by the time your audience is larger, you kind of have it down. So practice going live, create an outline so you know exactly what you're going to be talking about. I mean, just
Yeah.
somewhere between 3 to 5 points is usually good,
Okay.
depending on how long you want to go live.
Yeah.
And just doing it more often. You can do collaborations with clients. You can do collaborations with other peers that are in the industry. I mean, it's a lot. And you can
Yeah.
have up to 3 people on a live with you. So you can turn this into like a whole like table talk or series or
Nice.
something of that nature just to kind of make it fun. So a lot of different things that you can do going live and really just running your business how you want and having lots of fun in the
Making it
process.
interactive and making it fun. But I also
Mhm.
think what you said about doing it when the audience is still quite small, it also starts training and teaching your audience. You go live.
That's
So
right.
therefore they start getting used to it. It starts getting easier. And also you'll start getting more people coming to the live and you get more confidence because people are coming to the live and joining in and stuff like that. So I love that.
That's
100%.
right.
And with Facebook ads, is it about kind of just creating the content in order to then basically ultimately enhance your visibility more so on the Instagram platform? So is that
Yeah.
content posts? Is it, I don't know, download freebie stuff like an ebook or something like that? Is that the type of Facebook ads that you advise people to kind of hone in on?
Yeah, depending on where you are, like in your actual business journey. So if you're a beginner with that, I do encourage like some type of visibility or lead generation strategy. Because in the
Yeah.
beginning, you need our lead. You
Hmm.
need more people to see what you do. And so if you're a coach, I am a big fan of trainings and things like that. So if you're hosting a free training or if you have some type of event, then those are excellent ways to get people to come to learn about you and to come to your Instagram platform to even binge more information
Right. Or it
about
allows
you.
you to teach a
So,
specific topic, doesn't it? You can be more specific, more topic driven. People can
yeah,
then see that ad and then you're getting the right people to that event because then you can teach something a little bit more specific as opposed to being a bit more generalized, if you like. Again, as you said, growing an email list is really important because if you're growing an email list, you can then drive that email list to your Instagram lives. Hey, I'm about to go
that's
live
right.
in 10 minutes, right? So drive your traffic
Mhm.
back and forth and allow email and allow your Instagram content to work with one another and help each other out to move your audience to wherever you want them to focus their eyes on you, right? So, yeah, great tips. Thank you so much. Love that. And yeah, anybody who wants to follow Angela on Instagram and check her out on her website, her Instagram, we'll share everything else that she's got to throw at us that we can share links, any free downloads you want us to share for you, Angela, anything like that. We've got all the links for you. So people who are listening and want to follow you and discover more about you, we'll share that all for you. So all the links are around wherever anybody is this right now, whether it's the videos on YouTube, whether it's on our Instagram, whether it's in the actual podcast, wherever you are, please do go and check out Angela. Thank you again for your time. This has been kind of a treasure trove, maybe 2 or 3 treasure chests of gold. I mean, it's been like, wow. So
Yeah,
I
that's
really
good.
appreciate your
Thank you so
time.
much for having me, Jack. I
Oh, thank
appreciate
you.
you.
You're a sweetheart, and you've been an absolute star. And thank you again. And what are you doing now? What's the rest of your day? You're going to go on the beach? You're going to go and get yourself a nice stroll to walk, or does your day still remain at laptop?
It's a really it's a really easy day. What we'll probably do is we have some moving to do.
Oh, yeah.
We're gonna be moving into our new condo, so we're gonna
Oh,
spend
lovely.
some time moving and probably just hanging out today. But a really easy day, very
Good.
light.
Love it.
Yeah,
Easy
yeah,
days. That's what we want to
yeah.
hear.
Right.
Yeah.
Basically living life, right?
Right. I love that. And we'll end on that note. Yeah, I like that a lot. Thank you so much again.
You're
You've been
welcome.
an absolute star. And I'm sure we're going to have you back on the podcast another time. So yeah, everyone else, check out Angela's links. Thanks, Angela. You've been a star. Have a good
Thank
rest
you.
of your day.
Bye.
Take care. Thanks again for tuning in to another empowering episode of That Digital Entrepreneur Podcast. I really appreciate you guys hanging out. And if you found value in today's conversation, don't forget to share it with friends who could also benefit. And look, hey, if you haven't already, hit the subscribe on iTunes, Spotify, or your preferred podcast platform. Now, before we wrap up, let me quickly share a vision with you. Imagine a life where you spend your days on your terms, where earning revenue has nothing to do with when or how much you work. You make money while you're enjoying things you love, whether it's like, spending time at the park with your kids, meeting a friend for coffee, or just going for a run on your own. It's about taking your passion, skills, and your expertise and creating your own in-demand course and then transforming your life. And you no longer need to trade your time for money. Instead, you have a business that brings in customers on autopilot, and you're serving new people and earning income every single day. And you don't need to work long hours for this or hustle. Now listen, this isn't some kind of pipe dream. This is a business model. And I can tell you right now, this is a business model that I call the in-demand course model. It's the backbone of my membership program, That Course Creators Hub. And inside our Success Hub, we don't just guide you, we empower passionate individuals like you to launch programs that make a lasting impact. We give you the strategies and the processes that actually work, plus 24/7 support and accountability. Now, forget tech headaches, forget overcomplicated fancy funnels, and embrace a simple yet powerful business strategy. And do you know what the best part is? For just $7 a month, you can be a part of our Course Creators Hub membership right now. And if this resonates with you, head over to jacklongdigital.com/hub, HUB, jacklongdigital.com/hub to learn more details about that Course Creators Hub. And yes, you heard me right before, it's just $7 a month, which unlocks a transformative journey towards you becoming a successful course creator and having an in-demand course business model. This isn't a dream, this is a reality. We have hundreds of thousands of clients and students who we've served over the last 5-6 years who've followed the exact same strategies. And you can join us right now at jacklongdigital.com/hub. Okay? Now, if you're excited to join, and we're excited you've joined to turn your passions into profit. And until next time, I hope you thrive in the digital space. We'll see you again in another podcast episode. Take care now.